Folks, we have another record review tonight. So, a little backstory before I get too deep into this. Sitting home on Facebook one day, while on my first week of layoff, a few days ago, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that, and I hadn't restarted this channel. I wasn't sure if I was going to do anything, because my last review I did for, was Ibex, and they were a killer band. Now, I commented on a post by Anthesis, formerly known as the Daisy Anthesis, and they had mentioned that their record, 10-year anniversary of Surface and Sky, was that day. So, in the process of all that, I was like, damn, it's been a while since I listened to this. They responded with 10-year anniversary review? Okay, sure. I said, I'll get this done as soon as I can. They said, no, there's no deadline. Perfect. So here it is, Anthesis 10-year anniversary of Surface and Sky. What can I say about these boys? Well, it's real simple. These guys are St. John Quistpam's very own Scott Lilly on bass and vocals. We have Scott Miller on guitars and vocals, and we have Andrew Martin on drums. Basically, this trio, okay. Now I'm gonna have to link the Bandcamp in the description below. You have to listen to this. It is imperative you listen to this and watch as your brain melts from three dudes. Now I'll get to this later. There's a comment I want to throw out just based on, but I don't want this to get misconstrued by certain people. So this trio delivers the sludgy noise of skull-crushing drums, dual vocals on every track. Now, at the same time of it being very technical and groovy, there is a large amount of time changes with this insane knack for being jazzy, random melodic parts in there. So with the 10th anniversary of this record, it has stood the test of time. It was released on Diminished Fifth Records, which is a now defunct label that once resided in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, headed up by the one Josh Hogan, and as well as a couple other of his cohorts. In listening to this monster of a record again, though, I gotta say that it being quite some time, I was literally knocked sideways by this. I'm like, okay, wow, it's been a long time. It's not that I forgot about them, because I knew they existed and I knew that they've been doing other things, but this record kicked my ass all over again. The time changes, the larynx shredding vocals, and then of course brought back to sensibility at the same time by these passages, Scott Lilly, his bass playing, the riffs from Scott Miller, and Andrew Martin's drumming. It's like, okay, so I'm struggling because I want to put out a comparison in terms of the time changes and the melodicism and as well as the jazzy parts, but I'll get to that in a sec. So before I get to that, because I'm going to scale that right towards the end. If you're a fan of Ken Mode and Ion Dissonance, these guys are up your alley. I cannot, and I don't think you can actually really nail down a specific genre to categorize them in, which is perfect. Now, of course, if you ask them, they're like, oh, we just play noisy sludge garbage. That's literally on their socials, but which I think is funny, because Scott Lilly's a funny fucking dude. I haven't really spent any time with Andrew. I have never met Andrew Martin. Now, Scott Miller, on the other hand, I think I've come across him once or twice. He's a fantastic dude, but Scott Lilly is fucking hilarious. So these tracks range from anywhere from 2 minutes and 34 seconds to I'm going to kick your teeth in and that's that, or a 7 minutes and 16 second track where I'm gonna kick your head in, but I'm gonna like rabbit punch you to death, and then I'm gonna stop and let you kind of like and just kind of get your bearings back and let things kind of and then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna do it again. So the big thing is for me in this review is without me going so deep into the record that you're like, okay, this video's too long and you're killing me. You have to listen to it. Because me rambling on incoherently about it is not gonna do the justice. And I don't want to spend another 10 minutes babbling on about like a fucking idiot, like I probably have been. And I can honestly say that this record, if you really have to let loose to something, like if you're having a really shitty day, Surface in the Sky is a record to pull out if you own it, or go to Bandcamp, or find them on Spotify. Get next to the fire, have a beverage, and just crank the son of a bitch up. Just like crank it up, and then you're just gonna go, and you're just gonna let fucking loose and just destroy everything. It's gonna be amazing. Now, while this isn't something that I'm gonna reach for on a day-to-day basis, because this kind of record is, while I do love it deeply, it's not gonna be one that I'm gonna be like, pew, Surface in the Sky, pew, Surface in the Sky, pew, Surface in the Sky. I'm going to Costco, Surface in the Sky. It would be something where I would, check out at some point. I'd be like, yeah, I really need to have something in my senses to really get me through these days. I'm really pissed off. That's what I'm going to go for. Something along those lines, something that's super aggressive and super badass. To the comparison, I want to make this very clear. I'm not comparing them to this band. What I'm saying is kind of time signatures, different style passages, kind of in and out here and there. The melodicism and the technicality reminds me, and the playing ability reminds me of Rush. They're not Rush by any stretch of the means. Let's face that fact. But what I'm saying is that what these guys do on their instruments, when they play it, and how they play it. When and how they play it. That's the key thing that I want you to think, okay, when you're listening, they're like, what is he talking about? How does Rush get involved in this? Rush goes in, like, when you listen to a song, say, like, Xanadu, or YYZ, ding, 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 and then, you obviously know how the sound goes. When I listen to Anthesis, the technicality in their playing alone and their approach to things is reminiscent to me of Rush. Just in how well they play. But obviously this is noise, grind, death, sludge, fucking, everything all rolled into one. When I think of how they write their songs and how technical it is and what they do with those songs, sounds reminiscent to me of Rush. Just in how the technicality and the playing. That's what I want you. That's what I want you to think of when you're listening to this, because I want you to listen to this too, because this stuff's fucking killer. This record gets a definite 4 out of 5, as it literally ticks all the boxes. As I say, it's not one that I'm gonna be pulling off the shelf. And actually, I don't even have the goddamn record. I literally listened to it on Bandcamp, because I owned the record at one point, and where it is now, I have no clue. I literally have no clue where this thing is. So get it into you, give it a listen. There's 11 tracks, and it will just blow your fucking mind out of the water. Okay? And don't take the Rush part too serious. It's like I said, technicality, playing, abilities. Just combine those, shred it, and let it melt your fucking brain. Yeah.